Hey, welcome back to the Rock Fantasy YouTube channel and another one of our interviews on our interview series that I get to sit down with Margarita Monet of Edge of Paradise, who are set to release their brand new studio album Prophecy on March 7th, 2025 on Napalm Records. Welcome, Margarita. How are you doing today? And welcome to the channel.
Thank you for having me. I
Okay.
really like rock fantasies. It's
You,
awesome.
you dig it?
Yeah.
So have you been to my store, Rock Fantasy? No.
No,
Right.
not yet, but
I hope we cross paths. And where are you joining us from today?
right now I'm in Los Angeles.
Excellent. And we're here to talk about this exciting new album from you. And I'm not super familiar with it. I'm trying to figure if I've seen you guys before, but I was also listening a little bit to 2023's Hologram, and I'm starting to gather that this is kind of a conceptual. All these are conceptual albums, and do you do all the songwriting?
Yeah, so the songs can be definitely listened to on their own, but if people want to read into it more, there's a concept behind it. And it
Mhm.
all started with our album Universe back
Okay.
in 2019. So the concept has been evolving, and the story continues. And there's a graphic novel to go with Hologram, so there's going to be another one for this album, Prophecy. But yeah, I do.
So you actually write the novel also?
Yes, I'll show you. I have it here somewhere.
Yeah, I've noticed that you have a lot of interesting merchandise on your website. So we'll go about other stuff you do also too. There's a novel. Wow, that's a nice sized book. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a nice book with like all the illustrations and
that's
stories.
awesome. Are they going to be available to buy on the tour when you're coming around to North America?
Yes, I have to get some
Okay,
more coffee
you
for
better
reminding.
get. Yep. So so we'll talk about the new album. I watched a video for Prophecy Unbound. I also saw the video for Death Note, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about those songs and then maybe a little bit about the video shoots if you like.
Of course, yeah. Well, Death Note is it starts off the album and
Mm-hmm.
the ultimate face-off between artificial intelligence and consciousness. And in the song, the overall message is kind of highlighting the importance and how special it is to have this, have the humanity within us. I'm gonna paint a picture that, the universe, the fabric of the universe is made up of human consciousness, and the artificial intelligence, the core of it is to conquer and spread. So as it tries to consume our consciousness, the universe can implode upon itself. So it's kind of like quick way to say it. There's a lot that goes into it, but
Mm-hmm.
um, in Death Note, it's kind of all happening in the mind. Who's going to be in control if we do merger with artificial intelligence. Um, and then there's an outside character that recognizes the importance of consciousness and kind of joins humanity in the fight. Um, but I've kind of followed this topic for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
when we did Universe, I already started talking about it, and it wasn't so prevalent how it is today.
Yes.
Kind of in everyday life now. Um, so it's kind of interesting how it's been mirroring what's going on in real life. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think the real danger is, um, having that technology at our fingertips, not to be discouraged, and not to lose the will to keep creating and keep evolving our minds. I think that's kind of the real danger, especially with artists, because it's so
Mm-hmm.
easy for anyone to
Oh
just
yeah.
create anything.
I know it's like for a person. I'm older, so I was born in the '60s. This is all like science fiction movies back
Yeah.
then, and all of a sudden, it's here. It's like I remember going to Universal Studios in Florida for the Terminator 2 like experience. And now I'm thinking like, around Christmas time this year on the East Coast, there was all these like mysterious like drones and what are they from? Are they aliens? And I'm like, I'm starting to live in this new universe of like AI, and I'm not ready for it. I'm an old soul, but it's here. But yeah, so as me watching some of your videos and like going back and watching some of them, like to me, it's it is like real now, but I feel a lot of sci-fi. I feel like some of the videos reminded me a little bit of the Battlestar Galactica series, the one that was done later.
Yeah,
That was just my pickup on it.
that's cool. Yeah, I always loved sci-fi. Growing up, I think I was like 5 years old. I was watching X-Files and Star Trek.
Okay, yep, and
I
good
really
stuff.
all that stuff. But I think
And
with the band, I always try to create something that's a little larger than life. And with
hmm
the videos, I want them to be cinematic, and because the music is on the cinematic side, I because I love
yes,
so yeah, I always try to match it and tell the story. I always wanted the band to be kind of multi-dimensional experience. When people hear the song, they can, watch the videos, then have the art, then read the
hmm
story. So it's like fully immersive.
Where did you shoot the Prophecy Unbound video? It looks like you were like on a desert or a beach or maybe both.
Yeah, the moon, you know.
Oh, you were on the moon. You shot that on the moon. Okay, you were up there.
It's actually a really beautiful place in California called
Mhm.
Salton Sea. And it's one of the few places on Earth where anything goes. I think the government has no control over anything there. So
Okay.
pretty cool. It's totally vast. I mean, if something happens, you're on your own.
Okay.
But it's yeah, all the land, it's all salt. So it used to be it. I think around Palm Springs, it's a man-made lake they made
Okay. Yeah.
for tourists, and they wanted to make like an oasis. And then something happened with irrigation where it became extremely toxic, and salt levels started going out of hand. So everybody left. So there's literally an abandoned town
Oh
where
wow. Like a
now,
ghost,
yeah, it's a ghost town,
like
and
a
some
ghost town. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But the salt because the lake keeps evaporating, so the salt just keeps saturating the ground. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
As I listened to the new album, a couple of the other tracks that really got into my head. The second song on the album, Assassin. I
My,
can't talk,
my, yeah.
and I think that's a very powerful song. I also was like Monster. I started listening to that even this morning. I took my pup for a walk for a little exercise before I did the interview, and I've got that song in my head.
Yeah, that's
It's like
cool.
very so to me, it's very catchy, and I also like the song "The Other Side of Fear." I thought that was very cool too. All right, do you plan on doing any more videos or any more singles coming off this album?
Yeah, so we already filmed for Mind Assassin actually.
You
So
did.
yeah, that one's coming out March 7th. And
Mm-hmm.
we did some fight choreography, so it's gonna be some cool fight scenes in there, and it should be fun because we have also a guest vocalist on it,
Okay.
Ludovico Technique. It's more of like a goth industrial band, but his
Mm-hmm.
voice was so cool, so it was nice to collaborate. And
Nice.
then also for Falling Light. So we had that video. But I think we're gonna do videos for Other Side of Fear. I want to have videos for everything, so
Cool,
we'll
cool.
see. Yeah.
So I'm just checking out some of my questions. What is the current lineup in the band? Who is in the band other than you? Maybe we'll go over the
Mhm.
names.
Well, Jamie Moreno, he's our drummer. Uh, Dave, Dave Bates, lead guitarist. Him and I started the band
Okay.
from the beginning. Yeah. Then we have Kenny Lockwood on bass, and yeah. So these guys have been with us through thick and thin so far.
Mm-hmm.
Years now. And then our newest member, Doug Wayand, another lead guitar player, and he actually contributed a lot on this record, making it sound different from the others because he brought in an eight-string guitar and he introduced some ideas that we built upon. So pretty cool to have him. And the 8-string guitar really kind of changed the sonic landscape of our music. So it was a cool change.
So you're based United States. You're from Los Angeles. The band is based.
We're based here, yes.
Okay, good. From discovering your band and hearing you, I like, and I've watched a couple other interviews, and I knew I was going to do this, and I said, man, I'm like, where I had to look up see where you guys are from because I'm like, they got to be from Europe somewhere because it just has that European. It has a little, it has a little bit of the European feel. Of course, you're getting ready to kick off this big North American tour supporting Delain and Xandria. So you must be pretty excited for that.
Yeah, they are great bands. So when we started,
Mm-hmm.
we've known about these bands for our whole existence as a band. So it's pretty cool to be touring with them now. And,
Mm-hmm.
it should be a great tour. They're great people, great band.
Yeah,
So yeah.
and that tour is kicking off very soon. I know that you have a date here in the New York City area at the Gramercy. I was there last night checking out a band, and yeah, I plan on coming to check you guys out. I've seen Delain before, but not with the new vocalist, so I'm looking forward to that. I see you also are promoting a VIP experience on the tour for your fans. What does that what don't you tell us about that a little bit? If our viewers would like to come out and get there early and meet you guys and get the photos or whatever else.
Yeah, definitely. So for this tour, we're hosting VIP before doors, and it's gonna be each venue. We're gonna plan out like a local coffee shop or a restaurant next to the venue, just so sometimes sound checks are going on and all of
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
We're gonna go somewhere next door, and of course take photos, sign anything. And also, I'm making for our VIP people, I always make handmade items. So for this one, we have some alien cyber skulls. We have
Wow.
these VIP metal cards that are engraved in with this map. So
Oh yeah. So I see that. I saw
yeah.
that in your videos that that you're kind of like having that symbol in the new videos. I noticed that. Yeah.
Well, I made this artifact for the music videos.
Yes.
So this map is kind of, it leads you to cool places. So what you're gonna when you
Cool.
see it, reading it to the merchandise, and VIP people get the handmade items,
Mm-hmm.
especially them. So, and it's always fun to get a chance to just talk to people, and
Mm-hmm.
it's because we also come out after shows, but it's harder because the music is loud and there's a lot
Sure.
going on.
Sure. Yeah, my wife had noticed we were as I was getting my homework done to talk to you today. We were watching some of your videos and we saw that you do a lot of handmade merchandise and we were kind of talking about that a little bit before. I see you do some paintings and
Hmm.
you make some pyramids. Uh
Yeah. Hmm.
and
Well,
my wife was wondering how long does it take you if you do this all by yourself? How long does it take you to make something like a pyramid? Is it very time consuming?
yeah, I mean, well, because I've made a lot now, so I kind of have a way to
Mm-hmm.
make them more efficient, but it takes a few days just because, the resin has to dry, and sometimes I layer it,
Mm-hmm.
so I have to dry, then come back to it, then I, sometimes etch some stuff on it. So it's a bit of a process, but I really enjoyed doing it. And I mean, I made one of the biggest canvases I've ever made.
Oh
Was
yeah.
giving it away. So it's right here. I'll show you.
Oh cool,
Um,
cool.
it's like the
Wow.
prophecy painting.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. Not very nice. That's huge. That's
Yeah, it's a big one. So I think it'd be a nice way to kind of thank the fans for supporting us and
so
order pre-order.
so you're giving that away? Is that like a raffle or something?
No, we're drawing the names the March 8th. So I think
Oh,
we're gonna do it from the
okay.
tour. people that pre-ordered the album.
So let's talk a little bit about the history of the band. How long have you guys been around?
So, well, Dave and I formed the band about 10 years ago, but I think really the band has took shape in 2017 because
Hmm.
Dave met and we're like, okay, we're starting a band. So I don't think that really counts because, we come from such different backgrounds. So it took us a few years to figure out how to work together, write together. Actually, you probably know Michael Wagner.
Hmm.
Um, we for we had an album called Immortal Waltz, which that was the first album that we actually wrote together because first one I sang on songs that he already wrote with Robin McCauley and Greg Bissonette and Tony Franklin. So he had a band before me, and then when we met, we wanted to start something new. So we got to go to Michael Wagner's studio in Nashville and record the album with him, Immortal Waltz. And I think that really solidified in me that that's what I want to do. That I just his love for and passion for what he does was so like inspiring. So I'll never forget that moment. And then we kind of started what's with our album universe that I kind of figured out the direction that I wanted to go with. I started thinking of the concept, incorporating everything that I liked and interests me, as a lyricist. That way, there is like a passion that's because I don't know, I've always liked science and science fiction. My dad is a scientist, so it's kind of a way
Hmm.
for me to incorporate that in the music.
Hmm.
And then yeah, with Dave and I, we kind of figured out how to blend the styles and we got onto this path and we just kept evolving. So I would say since 2017 is when it all kind of came together.
Great,
And
great. And you're no rookie to touring. I've been seeing you toured through Europe. You've been to Japan, and what are some of the bands that you guys have toured with in the past? And
yeah, well, in 2019, that was our first European tour with Sonata Arctica.
oh
Uh,
wow,
yeah,
yeah, I
so
love them.
that was really cool. Um, then recently we toured with DragonForce, Lacuna Coil, Amaranthe. We just it's interesting because my first metal band I heard, it's like I was in college in New York, Symphony X,
Oh wow, yeah, yeah, sure.
because I'm a classical pianist, so that was my whole world. And then I heard those crazy keyboard solos, and I was like, "What is that?" So I was really into it for quite a while, and
Mm-hmm.
it was really cool that we got to tour with them just recently in Europe. Um,
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit how you started to talk a little bit about it now, but I was going to ask you how you got into music and what decided you to jump into the world of rock and metal, you know?
Yeah, well, into music, I was from very early. I think I was 3 years old, and I was playing piano. And then I lived in Moscow, so I went to music school. And over
Oh
there, it's
wow.
very serious. You go somewhere, it's like
Hmm.
practice hours a day. There's concerts, exams, all of that. But I also did theater and I did ballet, so I had a lot of interests, but all of it was in the arts field. And
Hmm.
she paints a lot, so I was always into that. And my parents would take me to a lot of concerts and museums, and you know,
Hmm.
it was just very engraved in the culture. So I really grew to love it from very early. But I never really was exposed to rock and metal. I mean, my parents had some VHS tapes of Led Zeppelin, and I remember once it on and I was like, whoa. But never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that I would ever have a rock band or a metal band. It was just so other planet for me.
Hmm.
So it's not until college that I started kind of discovering heavier music, like with Symphony X, and I got into a System of a Down, Korn, went
Yeah.
through Marionette. handsome face. So, um,
Hmm.
and then, well, one of my favorite, actually, Dave introduced me to Dio, and that became kind of my, I always want strived to sing like Dio because
There he
I,
is. I got my Dio toy. See him?
yeah, so that's, that's kind of how I got into it. And well, obviously now I know a lot more.
That's awesome. So you spent some time in New York City. So you're probably, how long ago was that?
It was about 3 years, yeah, like 10 years ago.
So
Right
you,
before,
so you're familiar with the New York City like metal scene a little bit with the Gramercy and Irving Plaza and some of the venues.
well, actually, I'm from Houston.
Oh,
From
so
Houston,
you're from, oh,
yeah,
you're
I went
from,
to Houston, then I went to New York, and then I came to LA. Yeah.
okay, okay, cool, cool. I just wondered when you were in school or whether you went to some of the New York City venues, but yeah, yeah, it's cool. And you have an accent that doesn't sound like you're from California or Houston. So you were born in Armenia, I think I read.
I'm born in Armenia, but I lived in Moscow in Russia, so I
Mhm.
speak Russian, and then we moved here when I was 11.
So you're very international.
Yeah.
So you're ready to tour the world already. So
Yeah.
that's great. And I mean, any other plans to promote the new album, tours or anything else going on after this?
Yeah, so we are looking at some Mexico dates in July, and then of course coming back to Europe. Hopefully we'll get back to Japan as well. So I mean we've never been to South America or Mexico, so we
Mhm.
definitely will bring the band there and then come back to Europe. So summer, fall, probably.
Excellent. So this is coming out on March 7th, and I'm sure it's with all your artistry stuff, are there going to be different like the album itself is gatefold, that's a lot of artwork I'm picturing in my head, and is there different variants that you can pick up on the vinyl?
Well, so there's no variance, just well, especially for the first time down the line, maybe we'll have different editions. But for
Hmm.
the core, we actually, I have one that I
You
can
do?
show.
Okay, cool.
Fresh from Austria.
We're getting the scoop with the brand new record here on the Rock Fantasy Files today. Awesome.
So here's the vinyl,
Nice.
the lyrics,
Oh yeah. Very cool with the lyric shop. Yep.
our own alphabet that people can decipher our messages. Uh,
Oh, you have your own language. Edge of Paradise. That's awesome. Oh
cross
yeah.
language. Yeah, so this is the vinyl. The CD, it's a really actually a really cool digipack because it has a booklet inside with all of the artwork and lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our first album with Napalm, and
That's
they
awesome.
do cool packaging. Because we've never had digipacks before, we always just had jewel cases.
Mm-hmm.
But this is cool because it kind of opens up, like
That's super nice. Yeah.
on
Very
the
cool.
side. So yeah, there's a lot of pages in it, and like
Mm-hmm.
some of my artwork in there.
It's
And
almost like you get more with the CD than you do with the vinyl, with all the with the booklet and everything. Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
That's great. Yeah, we're looking forward. I bet everyone's looking forward to picking this up. And of course, you're going to bring vinyl and CDs on the tour too.
Yes, definitely.
Everything, t-shirts and all that good stuff. So yeah, I guess we're starting to run low on time for this interview, but it was an honor to have you on the Rock Fantasy YouTube channel, and I hope to see you in person. I've actually I got a little poster for the
Oh, nice.
for Gramercy. We're doing a little show and tell today, but yeah, awesome. I know my wife, I think, is going to order one of your pyramids. She said I really like those, and I said, well, why don't we order one? So we'll
Thank
try
you.
to pop an order in for that, and I'll look for you at the show, and I guess we'll see you soon. Anything you want to add to your fans or anything else before we wrap this one up?
Well, thank you. First, thank you to your wife. I'll make a very special one for her, so I appreciate it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then, yeah, I always want to thank the fans because, we really started the band from absolutely nothing. And the only reason we're here is because of support of the fans. So we just want to thank everyone for always supporting and listening to our music. And if you're new to Edge of Paradise, welcome. And can't wait to play these songs live. So
And go out to the record store.
mhm.
And we still have those. I'm talking to the fans now, or go to the website and buy some merchandise from Edge of Paradise, because that's what you need to do. We need to buy band merch, t-shirts, records, all that good stuff. If you listen to Spotify, yeah, it's cool, but they're not making any money on that. So go out and buy the merch, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's good to see you. I'm going to look, hopefully I get to say hello to you in person when you come into New York, get a photo, something like that. And take care. Thanks for watching Rock Fantasy Files. And thanks for Margarita for showing up and chatting on this Tuesday afternoon in the New York area. See you
Thank
next
you.
time.
See you next time.